Hello, and welcome back to Therapist Plays Disco Elysium. On today's episode, my intention was to have a light-hearted detour while Kim is out of the party and take care of some things, just talking to characters that we really don't need him for, and to kind of experience some things from just Harry's perspective. The plan was to talk to the smoker on the balcony again, and then to see if we can maybe take Lilian on a date. But this is Disco Elysium, and it's extremely easy to get sidetracked. Just as it is in real life when you have cats. I'm talking now, which is why she wants attention. She thinks I'm talking to her. Anyways, that was the plan going into this episode, but those things did not happen. And I'm starting to see why it's so important that we do have Kim with us when we go on our little escapades through Martinez. This one definitely didn't turn out how I thought it would, but still some interesting discussions, so let's jump into it. Hello, and welcome back. Okay. Today, I promised we would talk to our friend here, Smoker on the Balcony, which we'll do right now. But I also, thank you for reminding me, someone to talk about Calasia. I had mentioned there was a kind of therapy style, Gestalt therapy, that I would use with her, and one technique in particular. But I'll talk about that after we we talk with our friend here without Kim's judgmental eyes. Look, I know that he's not really judgmental. I'm just playing it up. Like I need to remind you, this is a role play. Like I'm gonna act out like what I think my character is thinking. And we know, the audience knows that Kim is not like, he is not disapproving, he's not judgmental, but our character's insecurities run a much deeper. So from his perspective, I feel like he misinterprets Kim's like playfulness as judgment. I could be wrong though, as I am on many things. Okay, let's talk to him.
Hi again, Gendarme.
Hello again. Yourself. Oh, shit. He's so different. Okay, I actually need to put a skill into this. Shit, I don't actually have a skill to put into that.
Bye-bye, Gendarme.
I can't just put on any composure clothing, can I? Do I have any composure clothing? Anything that makes me feel slightly more confident in front of this intimidatingly attractive man? Yes. The snakeskin boots do. Okay, does that allow me to...
Hi again, Gendarme.
Shit, okay. I will have to
Bye-bye, Gendarme.
get a skill point. Yes, I'm very attractive. Great, thank you. That's... Wow. At least he knows it. Okay, well, I guess we'll bumble around a little bit and do some things without Kim present. And we'll come back to talk to our friend on the balcony when we get some more composure going.
Was that? Could it be the Col de Mama d'Aqua? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
Is it? Is there a ringing?
There seems to be. An extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your...
Lena. Okay, I like that. I've been going Lena, but let's go Lena. Let's listen closely.
There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species.
Keep listening.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you. Keep still. It might perch on your shoulder. Oh. What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy women of childbearing age.
Oh, God. Hold very still and hope the bird comes to perch on your shoulder.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there.
Where?
Go after it. No,
I'll go after it.
too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
No, come back. Please.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
Okay. I love the canon idea that we are totally bought into the whole cryptozoology thing. So we'll keep our ears peeled. I guess you peel your eyes, but we'll keep our ears perked for the mysterious bird. What I thought would be a good idea, since we don't have Kim with us, is to go talk to Lilian. Because we got some solid recommendations that's a worthy conversation to do. There she is. Let's go up on the dock beside her here. And you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna put my flashlight away. I want to make myself presentable. Make our put our most presentable looking attire on. I don't know if the gloves. Do you have any better gloves? I guess that'll have to do. Yeah, we'll keep it exactly as we have it here. We got our armor piece underneath. That's pretty attractive. Okay, let's talk to Lilian.
Hi, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Oh, why is it so low? Oh, we don't know a good spot yet. A suggestion. We need a good spot along the coast. Is that a red check?
Hi, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel
It's
it.
a white check. A good spot along the coast. Okay, I guess we can look for that really quick. I know there's some areas we haven't quite explored yet. We'll do some orb clicking. Oh, is there another motor carriage? What do we got here? There's an orb in the mud. Why can't I click that? Okay, maybe I can't click that. Let's see. We have not gone up here yet. Buzz hum. The electricity flows through these wires with audible power. Probably not the most romantic place. A weighing machine. Vagrants. What do we got in here? Any cash? Mega Beano's prescription lenses. Okay. I'll take it. What else we got here? Okay. We're just being observant. Inspecting our surroundings. Some cash.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Let's take a closer look at that clothing.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth.
Go for it. Can we get the jacket? Filthy jacket. What do we got? Filthy rag has been at the mercy of elements for quite some time. It's streaked with seagull shit and abnormally stiff from God knows what natural processes. Okay.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Let's inspect it further.
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
Okay, composure.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit. That's
Gross.
why Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck.
Oh shit! I don't want to get my nice pants dirty. Now, not right before we're about to ask out Lilian. Let's flick this shit
Now
away.
I'm just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a
What
disaster.
the fuck?
You'll never get the smell out.
Oh no, I've covered myself in seagull shit when I'm trying to talk to Lilian or the smoker on the balcony. This is just my luck. Is that it? That's the whole interaction?
Hold it in your hands. It makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Why did I fondle the shit jacket again?
There is no why.
Is that seriously it?
As you hold it in your hands, it's probably better that way.
Okay, so it just degraded my morale a little bit because I'm covered in seagull shit. Okay, I'll take it. That's good detective work there, Harry. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if we can find a beautiful spot for our date with Lilian. What do we got here?
Smell. It's awful and familiar.
That is awful. What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear.
Yeah. Is it a corpse?
Yes. A sense
Fuck,
of
man.
dread washes over you as you look ahead.
I'm gonna need to go back for more mag. I'm gonna need to mag it up again. Oh.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Let's
Two
check out the
empty
tear.
bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find.
Okay, cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra.
Let's check out that kebab
You see
wrapper.
traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper.
Jesus fucking Christ. This was supposed to be the, like, lighthearted episode where I talk to the smoker on the balcony and go on a date with Lilian. But I can't do either of those things with my current skills. And what do? We stumble our way into a traumatic episode.
Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Here's what I am curious about, though, because Harry is definitely... He's definitely had a lot of exposure to this sort of thing, right? Like, how many years has he been on the case, right? But this is a new perspective that he's developed. And I feel like throughout the course of our roleplay, a new appreciation for life. And it can certainly be hard to, I guess, protect yourself from the natural emotions that you're going to have when you have to deal with this sort of thing. You have to sort of compartmentalize, like, because otherwise the emotion is so intense. It's so confronting that you wouldn't be able to do this kind of job, right? Compartmentalizing is essentially trying to narrow down what your brain is interpreting this experience as. Like, you can see his skills trying to tell him, like, this is just your job. Use the part of your brain that kind of is more this like intellectual or purely technical aspects, right? Composure is trying to tell him like, don't let your emotions get involved in this, because if you let yourself go there, who knows what might happen, right? So compartmentalizing is really important for people of all professions, but especially those who have to face this kind of thing. For example, detectives, doctors, right? Doctors who have to deliver difficult news to their patients or to family members of patients, and even therapists. There are times where, you hear something about a client that you used to have. It's really rough. It's not easy to separate like the emotional connection you have with people and the professional context that you engage with them in. But that's why so much training is involved in learning how to navigate situations that will confront your deepest emotions. I think especially for Harry, this would be hard because it is very much a fate that he could relate to if he kept going in the direction he was going in. So that's what I'm curious to see, is how well does he compartmentalize this as, okay, you're just looking at this as a detective versus you're looking at this as someone who is still struggling with their own alcoholism. So let's take a look at the clothes. I'm sorry, this was supposed to be a fun episode, but that's Disco Elysium for you, baby.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest.
And the portrait is especially haunting. What I found interesting, I don't know if it's intentional, but the portraits for the gentlemen that we've interacted with on this side of the waterfront, the individuals, the alcoholics, their portraits are much more abstract, or like the lines and the color work is so much more, I guess, like chaotic. There's definitely something different about them versus like our portrait or Kim's portrait, which have these like really clear lines and color separation. Whereas the color separation here is so much more abstract, which to me, like the emotional message that I'm getting from that is, this kind of dissociation. It's really interesting.
The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made.
Okay. I guess the only thing that we're going to do is... It doesn't give me an option not to search his pockets? I mean, I guess we'll search his pockets.
Some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Let's study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine, or 1.5 of spirits.
Okay.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years.
So listen to, like I said, I'm curious how Harry would compartmentalize this. We're trying to understand this as like, what was the causality, right? We're trying to intellectualize the situation here. How much was he drinking? How old was he? We're relating to him purely on like a situational, like the situation that this individual was in. more so than like none of the options have been what we actually think about this yet. Maybe we'll get some of those. But you can see that we're like parsing the intellectual reaction to this, like what was going on.
He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely.
Here's the empathy.
Overcome with the awful surprise of it all.
Yeah. Now comes the like less intellectual but more like emotional reaction to what's happening. What he relates to, basically. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all. I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that this character event is in the same region area as our motor carriage, because it's a very similar situation. It's Harry also almost having a fatal accident, and here in the same region we're able to witness like an actual loss like this, which would be quite a poignant moment of self-reflection for him. Let's study the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Oh, geez. I guess we're going to go deep into this. I am so sorry. This was not supposed to be a depressing episode. Let's examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch.
Oh, why are we touching it? Harry, come on. I mean, I guess examine implies touching, but... step on the floor.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile.
Yeah.
He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
Let's examine the bottle.
0.75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Okay, I'm like pretty uncomfortable with like the options the game is giving me here. Like, I didn't want to touch him. You know, I didn't... It didn't really give me an option there. And I'm kind of just curious to explore the situation. But like... Okay, we're just gonna do it because I'm curious to see.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too.
Okay. This is very uncomfortable.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
What should I do with the body? See, I'm even finding myself having this reaction where I'm like, okay, I know that he's like a detective and it's part of his job to investigate, you know, a situation like this. Like, was there any foul play involved? Like, we did the same sort of thing when we did the autopsy with the hanging man. But I'm sitting here and my emotional reaction is like, don't look in his fucking mouth. Like, this is a bit too much. What should we do?
First, you need to talk with the lieutenant. Then report back to the station. This is too complicated to handle on your own.
Yeah, I need help. I need Kim here. Where is Kim? We left on our own to talk with the smoker on the balcony and have our little homoerotic fantasy, or we tried to go and have a date with Lilian, and we accidentally wandered off and traumatized ourselves. Like, I need an adult. I need Kim with me. I can't process this on my own. It's too weird. It's too much. We should not be going out without Kim's supervision. I need an adult. Oh, it's a strong wind. Okay. I need an adult! Where is Kim? Okay, we'll have to come back for this. Oh, I was just looking for a cute place to go on a date. What the fuck? I'm gonna keep looking. I don't want any more trauma this episode. This was supposed to be the fun detour. It wasn't supposed to be any trauma. What do we got down here? Something we can pry open. Oh, I've got some nos, whatever that was. Oh, there's a lot of money down there. We'll come back to interact with some of that stuff. I'm just looking for a quiet, cute place to go on a date. I'm not trying to stumble into any more severely traumatic things. Okay, we've already played around with Gary and Morel. Where the fuck am I supposed to... I haven't found anywhere nice to take Lilian. I'm not trying to get caught up in too many side quests. I either need two things. I either need to gain experience so that I can go talk to Smoker, or find a place to take Lilian on a date. Broken pipe. Okay. How close are we to leveling up, by the way? We're pretty damn close. Okay, we'll get that point in our composure for sure. You're here. We've already gone down there. Let's go to the church again. Okay, we're not gonna go in the church just yet. Okay, we haven't gone up this way. Please, please, I beg you, no trauma this way. Looks like some sort of winch. Is this a winch? To who knows where. I don't know. What is this thing? A bunker? What the fuck is this?
Old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while.
What is this thing?
The concrete structure looks military in origin, over half a century old at least, but sturdily built.
Why is this a red check? Why would I only be able to try this once? I mean, there's no way we're going to be able to open that. I'm never going to put anything into interfacing, most likely, so I mean, I guess we'll come back to it. Maybe there'll be an opportunity for it. What's this? A rhetoric t-shirt. Okay, I'll take it. I'm not gonna mess with the traps right now. Come on, come on. Somewhere sweet and quiet to take a girl on a date. Someone's made a campfire here. Control box. Okay, we've got our experience point, so we can go back and talk to the smoker at least. Chance to climb. Okay. Scented scarf. Ooh, +1 to shivers. I like that. What do we got on here? Drama? I don't need drama in my life. I don't need drama. I need shivers. It's pretty cool. Okay. So where are we now? Where are we, like up here somewhere? Guess we walked past the church. Okay, yeah, we're near that bunker. Well, I don't think there's much further we can go. I haven't seen anything too exciting. I mean, there's the boardwalk. Isn't there? Where's this fucking Ferris wheel at? Let's see a Ferris wheel. You can imagine why. Calls become terrible
Winter,
sometimes.
slow to let go of Revachol. Flex some more wet snow from above.
Shivers is popping off. It's because we put that Shivers scarf on. Let's look around.
The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring.
How does it feel, Shivers?
The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. At least your hair is protected from getting wet and sticking together. You look around.
What's in the west?
More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles. Grey and red forgotten city blocks. What remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast.
And beyond that.
The waters turn black. Coal City in the shadow of San Martin. A boom town. Back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol.
What I love about Shivers' perspective, especially in this area, is its attention to detail for the things that were tried and either failed or fell apart. Like, there's so much detail given to, like, clearly this place was meant to be something, right? There's a Ferris wheel, like, there's a church, there's a sense of, like, community, there's artwork and whatever else. But so much of it has crumbled and fallen away. And Shivers is often pointing us to things like monuments that we've built or places that people used to live and like what has happened to them, in some ways like how nature has reclaimed them. Like a boomtown back when coal extracted from countless shafts, like a different time where people live very different lives that's clearly not thriving in the same way anymore.
No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet.
And we see that as well paralleled with like the Sunday friend who's like, yeah, I'm making like real estate investments. This is $1 million view. And it's like, dude, are you looking at the same thing as me? Like, so much of the world around us is crumbling apart. And yeah, potentially there's efforts to like gentrify and kind of glow up some of these areas, but like gentrification doesn't fix like generations of like community trauma, right?
Loathe the old mines. L'Océan Municipal. Revachol's underground cemetery. Le Petit Rat braved the underground passageways, trying to get to Le Royaume.
Le Petit Rat.
Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums and for fabled relics. Their parents let them. They go deeper.
Let's go deeper.
After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain, in the burial chamber of the kings, Grand old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent.
Like even this imagery of like once great and respected things reclaimed by children to basically make, you know, a quick buck or whatever, right? Something that's like unique to their survival. Not interested on like preservation of these things necessarily, but because like they need to survive. It's just like it illustrates the changing of the culture so well.
2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all the kings. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty. Did someone say untold quantities of cocaine? Drop everything immediately and go looking for this hoard.
They said untold quantities of gold. Oh, I guess, and the magenta cocaine. Okay. Wipe the snow from your shoulders.
Few petits return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets.
Kuno S, maybe.
All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water.
This must be about Kuno S and Kuno. Interesting. What's in the east?
The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, the district the police forgot to police. There is laughter, lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III
Tommy?
serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds.
I regret what we did to Tommy. If I I don't know if it was worth it in the end, because now I can't go back and have more conversations with old Tommy. I feel like we burned him too early. That's all.
Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king.
And further.
A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate.
That's Tommy.
Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects off its hood.
Okay, what's in the north?
The abandoned church, one of 2 remaining stave churches, which were collectively called Les Sept Sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the Revolution.
And further north?
A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather foul.
And on the islets?
The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab scuttles among the debris, looking for a new shell.
Yeah, there's so much like characterization of the world in Shivers. What I'm getting from this is like when it talks so much about things being abandoned, it's often these like very communal spaces, like these artifacts, these royal pieces, a mausoleum, museum, churches, like a boardwalk and that sort of thing. Like these are inherently communal spaces that encourage pro-social interaction. And when they fall apart, what we see in the aftermath is like more individualism, like people kind of taking what they can from these places, like extracting their precious artifacts, or using them as like a survival space, using them to hide out from the law, right? Like it's giving me this vibe of like these were once communal spaces that now, as the culture becomes divided and the people spread out, there's more individualism and more antisocial behaviors, right? Things that are more focused on like individual survival rather than collective survival. And then it hits you with this like hermit crab looking for a new shell. Like that's the people, basically. The people who are displaced from these communal places, which are not only just buildings, but they're institutions. Like a church represents a collective understanding of the world and a community of unified belief, right? A museum represents a unified respect for one's own history. A boardwalk represents, this like space to experience like social spaces. And when these things are all destroyed, like we are the hermit crabs looking for new shells to survive in. Man, it's so good.
Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection, way beyond Martinez, a popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids with equally ample pockets.
And on the other side,
Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see that far.
before the curtains are drawn.
The Bay of Revachol, vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water, air brinier than here. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos. Wild pines, Zam, Morian, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the Coalition warship, Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market.
Oh.
You shudder.
Not the market. Yeah, and I mean, so much of this explains the motives of people in this world and our own world as well. When I think about like the kinds of things that extreme individualism encourages, like potentially less pro-social behavior, less collaboration person to person, less collectivist interests, and more personal ones. So like one's own wealth, one's own safety and security. And so it makes it very hard for me to trust the motives of people who claim to have a collectivist interest, like Everett Clare or Joyce. I feel like I have learned to trust Kim because while he aligns with the moral intern or whatever it is, or the coalition, I can't remember who he aligns with. He's not just doing this case for himself or for his record. He's doing it because he cares about this environment and these people and the changing of this culture, which is why we can relate a lot to him. It's why I look so much at the kids of these of this world, because I'm like, yeah, there are opportunity to like change the way that people interact with their environment, and in turn how we view and value that environment and these spaces. Fritta Girl does not give a fuck about Fritta, for example, like the shop. And really, why should she? Like, if Fritta does well, it doesn't exponentially make her do better too. Like, there's no profit sharing, as far as I'm aware, from Fritta to its employees. So, like, of course she's not invested in, like, the spreading of Fritta's brand. Like, she's there because it's a job that she has to do. But I also don't see a lot of investment from the world in her that makes her want to care about broader collectivist ideas, like maybe going to school for something scientific, which I would love to see her do. Yeah, it's just really interesting. Shivers is really dropping the heat in this episode, and having us think, what's in the south?
The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath the motorway attempt to carry on with their lives in the snow and the slush. And south of the 881 is the Pox.
The Pox
was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center during a measles outbreak that killed many children. Most everyone has avoided the hospital and surrounding park ever since. The pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off.
Yeah, like there was effort here to build a culture and institutions that supported people. And when they didn't work, like they're being reclaimed by nature and those with more individualist goals for them. Which is kind of the vibe I get from Everett Claire. I'm like, do you really want to build like a whatever it is, a school or whatever the fuck it is, a children's program, a recreational center or something like that? Like, do you really want to do that? Because you think that appeals to my idea of what it would mean to rebuild this world? Or what's your individual motive? Because that's just that's more the vibe I get. Same with Joyce, right? Yes, she's a part of the Wild Pines, but like she lets her individual motives override that frequently, because she's afraid for her own position and potentially life as well, which is natural. Like we're individual creatures, but I think that when I look at all of the evidence here that so many of the institutions that communicate to you when you walk outside and you look at the world around you, that there are other people in this community who share the same common goal as you, that makes you want to contribute as well, right? When I talked about the whole terror management theory perspective, it's all about that. But we don't see that common goal around. Like everything is destroyed for the most part. And so it naturally does not make me want to invest in those more common community-centered goals. It makes me want to invest more in my individual ones because I can't count on anyone else for my own survival. So it makes a lot of sense. It also makes sense why people would feel like the only way to cope with that is to engage in self-soothing activities like drugs, alcohol, or other things, right? Sex and love addiction, eating disorders, right? All of that stuff as an escape from the discomfort.
Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on among the hastily abandoned supplies, or just to overdose in peace.
Fucking creepy again that as soon as I say that, the game gives me an immediate response. Less direct this time, but still on point.
A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance. Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells.
No, it was home. I want
The
more.
stairs descend to Central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there, in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning.
Maybe they believe it because it's true.
Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the Sarah Mauritian restaurant that offers homemade wine, and also on the brothels and drug dens and the chop shops of the Zemliaki. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor, looking for something, like whiskers.
For what?
A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet. Somewhere in the south, tarpaulin flap in the wind.
Yeah, there is this sentiment of searching for things as well, and so much of what Shivers is talking about here, whether it's the children searching for the treasures of a forgotten world, for a people scattered searching for a refuge, of the people struggling with addiction searching for relief or searching for a quiet place to end things. There is so much of this like desperate search for meaning and some sort of tangible context that like communicates there's something more than destruction here. And even in our own experience, right, to become a detective, like the idea that you can tangibly search for evidence, something concrete that gives us meaning and validation to what we see and experience, and that we can determine causality and motive and understand people in very concrete terms. Like, it's no wonder that someone like Harry is in that profession, right? So fascinating, dude. This has gone. Shivers really did go deep this time, and there's more. I can't believe there's more. This was not supposed to be a Shivers episode, but it is now. What's above?
More Coalition aerostatics. Occasionally, lights flash as they maneuver through the falling snow. One large airship carries crates in its belly.
What's below?
Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff. The storm drainage, hidden bunkers. Rats scuttle.
Tell me a secret of the sands, wind.
Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it. But who knows?
We did notice that there was a pipe issue when we were walking around earlier, so maybe we can return to that. Okay, let's finish the thought.
The spring thaw will come in earnest. Just not yet.
Dang. That was some fucking shivers. Well. Once again, this was not supposed to be as depressing an episode as it turned out to be. I apologize for that.
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody?
Okay, let's let's check out the seagull, I guess. Does it remind me of anybody? Maybe it reminds me of Kim.
What? Kim? No, it's you. You and the seagull are just alike.
Why am I like the seagull?
Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation.
Yeah.
The seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that paradise.
Yeah.
Then their paradise became shit city. And what did they do? They became urban survivors. Eating burgers out of trash cans. Killing and eating pigeons. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters. Just like you.
Fucking right. Whatever it takes to survive. I am the seagull. But I'm not like that. I'm still romantic. I think it's... this is probably the boring option, but I feel like we can accept that we are somewhat like the seagull.
Exactly. The seagull...
Ah, it healed me.
And so do you. You've got that same spirit in you. When the time comes, you push yourself.
It healed me from getting the literal bird shit all over my hands. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, well, I am going to bumble my way back to the smoker on the balcony and see if I can't do that composure check. But there's more shit happening. What is this? There's a person. There's things. There's too many things going on. Okay, we're gonna try to make our way back to the smoker, but I can't promise we won't get sidetracked along the way. So that's what we'll do next time.